Welcome to West Church. If you're newer to West or worshiping with us for the first time, we welcome you. We invite you, if you're here in person, to step outside to our first-time guest tent. We have a welcome gift for you. And if you're worshiping online, please text WELCOME to the number you see on the screen. We are so glad that you are here. My name is Dawn Lynch, and I'm the Connections Catalyst here at West. We're going to be talking about contemplative practices today, such as breathing techniques, body movement, meditation, and prayer. And then I'll lead you through a 12-minute guided meditation. Thank you so much for being here. Imagine that every time you close your eyes in prayer or take a breath, you're literally rewiring your brain for love. This isn't mystical thinking, it's hard science. Neuroscience Dr. Andrew Newberg wrote a phenomenal book, How God Changes Your Brain. And in this groundbreaking research, he reveals that contemplative practices don't just change how we feel, they permanently reshape the architecture of our minds. When you enter the sacred space of contemplation, something extraordinary happens. The areas associated with anxiety and self-criticism begin to quiet, while regions governing compassion, emotional balance light up like stars in the night sky. Your interior cingulate cortex, the brain's center for love and connection, literally grows stronger with each moment of practice. This is the neurological foundation of what mystics have known for millennia. We are wired for the divine. Newberg says that the interior cingulate allows you to experience God as loving and compassionate. It decreases religious anxiety, guilt, fear, and anger by suppressing activity in the amygdala. Hear this passage from Romans 8:15. This resurrection life you received from God is not a timid, grave-tending life. It's adventurously expectant, greeting God with a childlike, "What's next, Papa?" Here's the beautiful paradox. The very shadows we try to hide become the raw material for our greatest transformation. When we bring our broken places into the light of contemplative awareness, the universal energy of love begins its healing work, not despite our darkness, but through it. Science shows us that meditation creates neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to form new pathways. But what science is discovering is that the heart has always known. Love is the most powerful force for rewiring our inner world. Our wounds become our wisdom, and our pain becomes our purpose. A few weeks ago, my family and I were on a beach vacation. I'd really been looking forward to this vacation. A lot of planning and time had went into it. And then all of a sudden, at the beginning of it, our first day on the beach, we were all sitting there. Then out of nowhere, a storm arises. Not a weather storm, but a family storm. You know how these things go. One moment, everyone's laughing, and the next, sibling tensions are brewing underneath the surface. They began to explode out in the open. Words were said, old wounds were reopened. What started as a small disagreement escalated faster than I could have imagined. I was right in the center of it all, watching this beautiful vacation crumble. And I have to be honest with you, the old me would have jumped into fix-it mode, immediately wanting to control and fix everything, manage everyone's expectations, smooth over the rough edges, because I spent years of perfecting the art of people-pleasing and taking on problems that weren't really mine to solve. Those days weren't that far behind me, and in that moment, I felt every old pattern trying to reactivate. My heart race started to increase. You know the feeling, the rising panic, when everything you care about seems to be falling apart. Catastrophic thoughts began flooding my mind. This entire vacation's going to be ruined. They'll never make up. What if this escalates? What if someone gets hurt? What if this destroys our trip, or worse, our family? But then something, and I can only call this grace, changed. Something shifted inside of me. Instead of jumping into my old patterns, I turned inward. I began to silently pray, breath prayers at first, and then I grabbed my fiance's hand and I prayed out loud. I prayed a hedge of protection over the situation, over my family, over the moment that felt so intense and overwhelming. I knew that this was the stuff that God uses. He didn't cause the storm, but he could work through it to bring forth something beautiful. And here's what happened. After praying, I knew without a doubt that God had this situation in his hands. I felt his power transcending any need that I had to control the outcome. I knew he was bigger than their squabble, bigger than my fears, and bigger than any worst-case scenario I could have made up in my head. The peace that settled over me, it wasn't passive, it was powerful. It wasn't denial, it was divine perspective. I stopped carrying the weight of the outcomes that I was never meant to control. We have access to a power that's both tender as a mother's love and strong as a father's protection. We carry within us both the nurturing feminine energy and the fierce masculine energy of the divine. But here's the thing, it takes practice to access that power in moments when we need it the most. That storm could have lasted all day. It could have ruined relationships, caused lasting divisions, left wounds that took years to heal. But when we chose prayer over panic, we chose divine perspective over human control. When we remember that we're held by a bigger love than our circumstances, everything changes in an instant. The Apostle Paul wrote in Romans 8:15, "This resurrection life you receive from God is not timid, grave-tending life. It's adventurously expectant, greeting God with a childlike, 'What's up, Papa?'" That next day on the beach, I discovered what it meant to live with a kind of adventurous expectancy, not because I had all the answers, but because I knew the one who did. We all have storms, family storms, financial storms, health storms, storms of the heart and the mind. But we have access to a power that can transform us right in the middle of that storm. Contemplative practices like breath control, meditation, and body movement help us choose prayer over panic, divine perspective over human control, and trust over fear. The question isn't whether storms will come. The question is, what will they reveal about what's inside of us? Will they reveal panic or peace, control or trust, faith or fear? Meditation and contemplative prayer aren't just spiritual practices for Sunday mornings. They're powerful tools that we can use every day that literally rewire our brains to choose love in those moments that are so hard to handle. Every time you choose contemplative practice over spiraling thoughts, you're literally choosing love over fear at a cellular level. Just 12 minutes a day of meditation begins strengthening the brain's circuits governing consciousness and emotional balance, while weakening pathways that lead to depression and anxiety. But here's what makes this revolutionary. You don't have to be perfect to begin. The practice itself is the path. Every moment you turn inward with loving awareness, every breath offered as a prayer, every choice of compassion over criticism participates in your own neural transformation. While you contemplate love, hope, divine possibility, your brain is literally changing its structure to support these realities. The research is clear. People who engage in regular contemplative practice show increased activity in the brain regions associated with positive emotions and decreased anxiety in areas linked to stress and fear. They develop what scientists call enhanced emotional regulation, the ability to remain centered in the storm, to respond rather than react, to choose love even when fear is screaming. Now let's enter together into this sacred space where science meets spirit, where your brain meets your soul, and where transformation begins with a single breath. This is a contemplative practice for loving all parts of yourself and recognizing the sacred in everyone. This practice was given by the late Dr. Gary Weaver, whose focus was working with people who said, this spiritual stuff, not for me. And it's a direct practice in the language of life. Shall we? I invite you to close your eyes, if you'd like. Clear out your inner space with 5 breaths. 1, breathe in and breathe out. 2, inhale and exhale. 3, breathe in and breathe out. 4, inhale and exhale. And 5, breathe in and breathe out. In your inner space, I invite you to begin to contemplate your inner chamber. I invite you to set before you a table. This is your table, and to your table you may invite anyone living or deceased who truly has your best interest in mind. See them gathering around your table now. Perhaps a grandparent, a mentor, a friend, someone whose love for you has been unwavering. Take a moment to see their faces. Feel their presence. And with them all sitting there, ask them if they love you. Ask them if they love you. Listen. What do you hear? And now you may invite your higher self, the part of you that is so much more than anything you may have done or not done, anything you may have or not have, your true, eternal, higher self. Ask if you love you. Ask yourself if you love you. What does your higher self say? And now finally, you may invite your higher power, whatever word is yours, however you know your higher power, and ask your higher power if they love you. Feel into this question. What is the response? And now, with all of these loving presences sitting right here now, what do they need to tell you? What do they need to tell you? What do you need to know? What do you need to know? Take a moment to receive whatever wants to come through. When you sense their message is complete, thank them for their presence, for their love, for their wisdom. Know that they remain with you always. This beautiful practice from Dr. Weaver reminds us that love isn't something we have to earn. It's something we're surrounded by, always. Now let's deepen into this knowing through breath and gentle movement. Begin by feeling your body wherever you're sitting or lying. Notice the weight of your body being held and supported. You don't have to do anything to deserve this support. It's freely given, like gravity itself. Now bring your hands to rest comfortably, palms facing up or down. Whatever feels natural. We're going to work with a simple finger movement combined with our breath. Not because it's mystical, but because repetitive motion helps focus your mind and activates the same neural pathways that promote healing and emotional balance. Let's begin with your breath. Don't try to change it, just notice it. In and out. As you inhale and exhale. Now, as you breathe in, gently touch your finger to your thumb to your index finger. And as you breathe out, release. Breathe in, thumb to index finger. Breathe out, release. Continue this for several breaths. Let the movement be soft and gentle, like you're handling something precious, because you are. You're handling this moment, this life, this miraculous fact of your existence. Now as you breathe in, thumb to middle finger. Breathe out, release. Inhale, thumb to middle finger. Exhale, release. Notice that you don't have to force anything. Your breath knows how to breathe. Your heart knows how to beat. Your body knows how to heal. Trust is being built right into the system. Continue. Breathe in, thumb to ring finger. Breathe out, release. Breathe in, thumb to ring finger. Breathe out, release. And finally, breathe in, thumb to pinky. Breathe out, release. Inhale, thumb to pinky. Exhale, release. Now let's create a gentle cycle. As you breathe naturally, move through all of your fingers. Index finger, middle finger, ring finger, and pinky finger, and then back to index finger. Let's complete this gentle rhythm, breath and movement, moment and breath. This is what contemplative practice is. Not escaping life, but arriving more fully in it. If your mind wanders, and it will, because that's what minds do, simply return to the breath and the gentle touch, finger to thumb. No judgment, no criticism, just return like coming home. Continue this rhythm for the next minute, letting yourself settle into this moment, into your body, and into a simple miracle of being alive. Now, while maintaining your gentle finger movements, Let's build on that beautiful foundation of love we just experienced at your inner table. You've already heard from those who love you unconditionally. Now let's explore the landscape of your own heart with all the same loving awareness. Look around this space. What do you see? Maybe there are areas that are lush and green, places where you feel proud and accomplished and loved. Notice these areas with appreciation. But also notice that there might be some areas that look a little neglected. Maybe some corners that are overgrown or seem darker. These aren't mistakes. These are parts of yourself that have been waiting for your attention, for your compassion, and for your love. In this garden of your heart, you're not the judge or the critic, you're the gardener. And every gardener knows that even the places that look barren or broken have the potential for incredible growth. Now imagine a figure approaching you in the garden. This presence radiates unconditional love. Call it divine love, universal consciousness, or simply the deepest truth of who you are. This presence looks at every corner of your garden, the beautiful and the broken, the celebrated and the hidden, with the same gentle smile. As this loving presence draws near, you realize something extraordinary. You're looking into a mirror. The love you see reflected back is not separate from you, it is you. This is your true nature, your deepest identity. All the stories you tell yourself about being unworthy, unlovable, not enough, they're just clouds passing by in the sky of your true self. Feel this truth settling into your body as you continue your gentle finger movements. Breathe this reality into every cell. You are made of love, by love, and for love. Now imagine that this garden of your heart begins to expand. The boundaries dissolve, and you realize that your garden connects to every other garden, every other heart. The love you're cultivating for yourself isn't separate from you. You can offer this love to the world. As your awareness expands, bring to mind someone you care about deeply. See them standing in their own garden, their own heart space. Notice that their garden, like yours, has areas of beauty and areas that need tending to as well. Send them the same unconditional love that you've been cultivating for yourself. Now perhaps a little more challenging. Bring to mind someone with whom you've had difficulty. See them too in their own garden. Their difficult behaviors, their words that hurt, these are just overgrown corners of their heart space, crying out for love. This doesn't mean that you have to accept harmful behavior. but you can recognize the wounded places beneath it. Now send them compassion, not because they deserve it by their actions, but because love is who you are. When you love from your true nature, you're not depleting yourself, you're expressing your deepest self. Finally, expand your awareness to include all beings everywhere. Every person struggling with their own shadows, every heart learning to love itself, every soul on the journey of remembering their divine nature. You are connected to all of this, part of the vast web of consciousness that some call God, others call love, and the mystics throughout time have called and recognized as the fundamental truth of existence. Continue your gentle finger movements, anchoring this expanded awareness into your body. Now gently bring your awareness back to your own heart, your own body, your own garden. But notice that you haven't left the connection behind. You're simply focusing it here, in this moment, in this precious life you've been given. Continue your breath and finger movements with each breath. You're breathing in love. With each exhale, you're releasing anything that stands in the way of that love. Breathe in, self-acceptance. Breathe out, self-criticism. Breathe in, divine connection. Breathe out, the illusion of separation. Breathe in your worthiness, and breathe out the stories that say otherwise. This is the practice, returning again and again to the truth of your lovable nature. You're connected to all life, your inherent wholeness, not because you earned it, but because it's simply who you are. Now, as we prepare to close, make a gentle commitment to yourself, not a harsh vow or demanding promise, but a tender intention to treat yourself with the same kindness that you would a beloved friend. To remember, especially in the difficult moments, that you are held by love, made of love, surrounded by love. When you encounter your shadows, and you will, meet them with curiosity rather than condemnation. When you interact with others who are struggling with their own darkness, remember that they too are made of the same divine substance as you and I. Slowly begin to let your finger movements come to rest. Place both hands on your heart and take 3 deep breaths. Inhale, breathing in gratitude for this moment of connection, and exhale. Inhale, breathing in commitment to loving yourself and others with divine compassion, and exhale. Inhale, breathing in the knowing that you carry this love with you wherever you go, and exhale. You are beloved. You are enough. You are connected to all life through the golden thread of divine love. When you're ready, gently open your eyes and carry this loving energy with you throughout your day. The same resurrection life that Paul writes about in Romans is available for us. We can be expectantly awaiting for the adventures. You are being invited to an adventure, the most magnificent kind, the journey of becoming who you're meant to be. Every shadow you're brave enough to love, every wound you're willing to heal, every moment you choose contemplative awareness over reactive patterns. You're participating in your own resurrection. The divine energy that spoke the universe into existence is the same energy flowing through your breath right now. The love that holds galaxies in perfect harmony is the same love holding you in this moment of transformation. You don't have to do this alone. You were never meant to. The universal love is available anytime you claim it. In this invitation, step into the laboratory of your own consciousness to become the scientist of the sacred, to discover the kingdom of heaven not as a distant promise, but as a present reality, written in the very neurons of your brain, waiting to be activated through the ancient and sacred practice of turning inward with love. The storm may be raging around you, but within you lies an unshakable peace. The shadows may seem overwhelming, but you carry a light that darkness cannot extinguish. This is your time. This is your transformation. This is your energy shift from fear to love, from reaction to response, from surviving to thriving in a magnificent adventure of becoming who you are. Thank you for being with us today.